Murphy. Isn't he so cute? Right now we're working on the first step, most important, is our arm position and helping Murphy be calm, cool, and collected with this transitional leash on. So the transitional leash goes across Murphy's nose and behind his ears, and it's just to help control and help him with those impulses when leading and guiding him without pulling on his throat or across his chest or anything. So right now we're just practicing a patient sit. This is one of the tools. We have 5 tools we use to teach Murphy to walk on a loose leash. The loose leash walk at our side is very important because we need Murphy to learn how to control his impulses on a leash and off a leash. But our first step is on the leash. So first we had free play where Murphy got to go run and play with friends. Now we have our training walk, then we'll have our bed, and then reflection. So right now we're on our training walk. We have 5 tools. So right here we're learning the patient sit. Right now I'm picking up the weight of an apple and having Murphy put his bum down. He did a good job and he had his bum down, but I didn't ask him to go yet. So I'm just picking up an apple and I'm waiting for Murphy to put his bum down. He is new at this. This is our first day, so he is not very fast at it. I think we went about 10 minutes the last time for him to put his bum down, and that's okay. What I'm doing is I'm changing Murphy's behavior. I'm changing his mindset. I can't force or tell him what to do. I need him to figure it out. So I'm just lifting up the weight of an apple. Murphy might jump or turn or try to stand up on his back 2 legs to try to figure out what this pressure means. But eventually he'll get the hang of it and he'll understand that pressure means to go in a calm, cool, collected state. So whether that pressure is excitement, nerves, the leash, being corrected, whatever that is, it's going to start to trigger his mind to go into a calm state. So if I tell him what to do right now, I'm not helping him understand. I'm only commanding him. I need Murphy to learn what to do on his own so that he can learn to control himself and control his own reactions instead of always being reactive. So I'm just going to wait here for Murphy, just still lifting up that weight of an apple. And we're just going to chill here and wait for Murphy to put his thumb down. As soon as that bum goes down, I'll release the pressure. Right now he's trying to back up. That's totally fine. Again, I told you he'd try different things to figure out what I want. And I'm just being kind and patient. Oh, we're going to do a little dance here for a second. There. His bum went down and released the pressure. His bum's back up. Pressure goes back up. So you can see how he's trying different things to figure it out. He does know what I want because we've done it a couple times inside, but he's not sure. So he's going to try different things, and that's okay. There. That was much faster, but then his bum went right back up. So I'm just going to pick up the weight of an apple again. So what I'm doing, oh, there's a cat. That's Cheeto. Cheeto does not help my training, but I can't train cats. So she's walking over here regardless of how I feel about the situation. But that's okay. Murphy's got to learn to be calm, cool, and collected no matter what. There. As soon as the bum went down, the leash went down. Cheeto's coming to say hi. Murphy, you're doing good. That was very good, putting your bum down. And now we're calm, cool, and collected. Oh, bum went up because the cat is right here. But I still want Murphy to put his bum down. So I'm just lifting up the weight of an apple. And Murphy's got to put his bum down. There we go. Doing a little bit of protesting. That's okay. Cat's not helping the situation. Go on, Cheeto. Murphy must have a cat at home. Better he's an awesome cat dog because he's doing very good, Cheeto. But Cheeto can read dogs. She'll only come up to nice dogs, huh, Murphy? So right now he's playing with the leash, so I'm going to play with the leash. Beautiful. Sitting calm, cool, and collected, even with the cat right in front of him. That is beautiful. We're going to walk away because Cheeto is being a stinker. And we're going to start our walk. On our walk, we're going to do at least a dozen or 2 dozen of those patient sits. I need Murphy to learn how to be calm, cool, and collected on our walks, or in our home, or when we're with our friends. So that patient sit is super important. We're going to practice it again. Lifting up the weight of an apple and just waiting for Murphy. Look at how smart he is. As soon as his bum went down, the leash goes down. There's some bicyclers across the road and a lady walking a stroller he's interested in. That's great. So this reset is one of the 5 tools to have a loose leash. The other tool you've seen is me flicking. I'm just flicking my hand. Boop. Okay, that's tool number 2. Now I told you the most important thing for this first video we're working on is our hand position and that patient sit. So let's talk more about the hand position. You can see my arm is straight down It's slightly tucked behind my body. You can see back here. So that way, when Murphy is beside me, the leash is nice and loose. As soon as his feet get in front of me, see that how he's in front of me and the leash is tight? I'm gonna give a flick. There. So he knows that's where I want him. It's a nice loose leash. He can play with the leash. That's totally fine. But that's important. My hand position is so important. Straight arm. Loose leash. I need a loose leash at all times. So if the leash becomes tight, I'm going to use one of my 5 tools. So far you only know 2. You see the flick and you've seen the reset. The other tool we can use is the zigzag. And that's just where I zig and zag and zig and zag. I'm not going any particular direction, so Murphy has to pay attention to me. And I'll kind of couple it with the flicks. You can see I'm flicking a little bit too. So I have flicks, I have resets, I have zigzags. The other one I have is a direction change. So let's say I'm just walking straight this way. He's getting reactive or there might be something. I'm going to turn around and go the other direction. A direction change. That is another one to do anytime there's pressure on the leash. The 5th and final tool is a rollback. And that's just where I'm walking forward. Let's wait till Murphy makes some pressure on me. He's doing so super awesome right now. He doesn't need a correction. Look at him go. There we go. We got some pressure. I'm just going to walk backwards. He turns around, and then I walk forward again. So Murphy does a rollback. So there are 5 tools to have a nice loose leash on our walk. Again, I can't stress how important this is, so you'll hear me say it over and over again. But that is your 5 tools that we'll use throughout the week to have a nice loose leash walk. But today's video, most important is your hand position, seeing where my hand is for the walk, and working on this reset. Lifting up the weight of an apple until Murphy puts his thumb down. And you just have to wait. Don't say anything, don't do anything, just wait. Beautiful. Alright, so we're doing our walk here with Murphy. Remember, today is day 1. Most important is our hand position. Straight hand, right down. Leash is loose when he is right beside me like this. Nice loose leash. As soon as he gets in front or behind, it's at a length that it will create pressure. So it's a short but loose leash. My hand is straight down. Right? Number 1. Number 2 is that patient reset. Lift up the weight of an apple. Have Murphy put his thumb down. You'll do this at least a dozen times on every walk, waiting anywhere from 10 seconds to 10 minutes. It doesn't matter. We want Murphy to learn how to chill. Not to sit up, not to fidget, not to wander, just to chill. Right now he's watching a bicycle rider right on the other side there. So we're a little bit distracted. That's okay. There. Oh. He stood up. The pressure comes right back up again. Does that make sense? When his thumb is down, pressure is down. We're going to come over here out of the way. There's a side-by-side coming down the road. There. Oh, and then he stood up again. Let's move back out here to the concrete. Sorry, side-by-side was coming down the sidewalk. So I'm lifting up the weight of an apple again because Murphy got up. I need him to learn to just sit beside me. And we're just going to sit here for a little bit. I'll sit here for at least as long as it took him to put his thumb down. But it can be more, again, anywhere from 10 seconds to 10 minutes. Right now, he's just learning, so they're going to be a little bit shorter, but then they'll get longer and longer over the next 5 days. Yeah, we'll go for a little walk here. All right, so number 1 was hand position, straight arm, beside my body, a little bit behind me, short but loose leash, so that if he steps in front of me, there's pressure on that leash, but he's doing a phenomenal job for our first day. We have our 5 tools we'll use anytime he creates pressure. The flick, the rollback, the reset, the zigzags, and the direction change. I will use any of those tools anytime there's pressure on this leash. I need him to learn how to walk at a nice loose leash. So eventually we can take the transition leash off the nose. And so eventually we can have like some off leash work. But he has to learn to control himself on a leash and then on the bed. And then it'll just grow and grow and grow, which is awesome. There are 2 parts of this training. There's the leash training and the bed training. So we're on the leash portion right now. We'll do some bed portion in a minute. But it's just learning how to control or Murphy learning how to control his impulses through contact pressure. So right now the leash is the contact pressure, and through distance pressure. Distance pressure is that the bed that we'll work on as soon as we're done with our walk. So we're just going to keep going. We're just going to have a nice, good walk, work on all of our tools so that we can do this nice, loose leash walk together. So I'm doing some zigzags. You notice I was doing flicking, and he's doing pretty good, but he's still having some pressure. It's not a lot of pressure, but I need no pressure. Again, if there's pressure on there, that means I'm still correcting him, and I'm still dictating the walk. I need him to learn how to choose to walk beside me at a nice heel so that I'm not having to control him, and he's just choosing to do it on his own. Right now, I'm not controlling him, I'm teaching him. But I want him to learn how to choose it on his own so he can make those good decisions all by himself. No matter if I'm walking him or my 5-year-old is walking him. I want him to be able to walk on a nice, loose leash, just walking with us. So here we put Murphy on his bed. And I'm just walking around. I first started by walking around the perimeter, back and forth and back and forth. And now I'm just kind of making it a little bigger. While Murphy is on his bed, he's got to be in a sit or a down position. So a sit or a down position. When he stands up, you notice I'm applying distance pressure to him. That's important because right now technically we're off leash, okay? Even though there is a leash around his neck, it's no longer over his nose, and the leash is around his neck and just laying on the bed just in case he decides to get up and run around. I could easily step on the leash and help him back to his bed. The plan is not to use the leash unless I absolutely have to. So a raised cot, distance pressure. Anytime he stands up. The raised cot is super important. As you can just see, it's an elevated bed. If you don't have one, you're going to want to go ahead and get one. It will just help the training process so much. Like you notice I'm correcting him quite a bit. Good job, yeah, good. Stand up tall, Caleb. Don't touch his head. Don't touch his head. Hands down. By your side. There you go. Good, now walk away. Beautiful. So anyone can help give distance pressure there. 4-year-old Caleb was trying his best. You notice I told him he wanted to touch the head. We don't touch the head. Hands go by our side or up in the air or out like this. And we don't touch the dog. We're just applying distance pressure. So anytime Murphy's bum comes up, either in a stand or if he walks off, of course, but when he's on his bed, he's got to be in a down or a sit. His bum needs to be down. We're looking for a calm position. So you can notice, like I was saying before, he's getting off quite a few times, which is perfect. We want to be able to train him and work with him. If it was a flat bed on the ground, he would be off all the time. Like right now, his paws would be touching the ground, which makes it really hard to train. It becomes more of a negative nagging all the time thing. Like right now, we're going to be correcting. So here I'm going to step on the leash, like I said, because he took off running. As soon as we get back to the bed, I drop the leash. I don't want to use the leash unless I have to, but dogs are much faster than me, so it's easy to grab a leash. So we want the dogs to learn how to be on the bed and be calm, cool, and collected. We need them to learn how to control those impulses in a fixed space. So that means before we give them a 4,000 square foot home to run around and play on, they first need to control themselves in this 3x4 space. So I'm doing a few things here actually. I'm teaching Murphy how to be calm, cool, and collected while inside. We're going to add distractions. People are going to knock on the door. People are going to come over. We're going to have the kids run and scream. He's not ready for that yet today, but we'll get there. Today we're just working on the basic principles. When we're in the home, you're on the bed. So I mentioned on our walk there's two steps in our training, the leash walk and the bed. While Murphy is inside, he will be on the bed at all times. If he's not on his bed, he'll be in his reflection space. A reflection space is a crate or a small bathroom, a laundry room, a mud room, somewhere where there's not like your bed. You would put him in your bedroom. There's not windows and distractions. It's a place for them to be calm, for them to relax, for them to think about all the awesome things they learned at training, all the things that they can improve on and work at. That's reflection. So through the training program, we have free play, training walk, bed, reflect. That was distance pressure. I corrected you to go back on his bed, right? Again, we have free play, training walk, bed, reflect. And then we repeat those 4. Free play, training walk, bed, reflect. Free play, training walk, bed, reflect. Over and over and over again. When he goes home, I want you to do that routine 2 to 3 times a day. While he's here, we'll do it about 4 times a day. So the 2 steps of the training are the leash and the bed. Both of these are very important. If you want your dog to be able to grow, it needs both phases for the training program. The leash training, which is the contact pressure, and the bed training, which is the distance pressure. We're helping them, we're rewiring their brain to just be calm, cool, and collected. So when the doorbell rings or someone knocks, we're not ready to jump on them. First, we're just going to be on our bed. Once we're rocking it, then we can kind of meet and mingle, but that's months down the road. So we'll talk about how we advance later. But for now, what I want you to understand is make sure you have a raised bed, make sure you're prepared to do the leash walk, and make sure you're prepared to do the bed training. The important thing about bed training to make it successful is you need to incorporate into your daily living. So right now we're going to do a couple hours on this bed while I help Caleb with whatever he needs help with, while I make lunch, while I help the kids with their homework. Ollie's over there doing homeschool. I'm not going to sit here and just watch Murphy all day long. I'm going to be in the home where I can keep an eye on him, like in this area. So I'm going to be in like my kitchen or even in my living room. We'll be sitting here in the dining room. Like I'm going to be close so I can watch him, but I'm not going to just sit there and hover over him. I have to couple my day together. No one has 24 hours to dedicate just to working with the dog, right? Except for me, because that's my job. But when he goes home, you're going to want to couple it with doing your work from home or doing your dinner or getting everyone ready for school. Whatever that looks like, you're going to want to couple it so that you're able to have effective bed training. So while he's in the home, he will be on this bed. If we're not able to watch him or it's reflection time, he's going to go to our mud room is where we put our dogs, or a laundry room. So they each have their own space where it's safe and secure. So on the bed, in the reflection space. Before that would be free play, training walk, bed, reflect. Free play, training walk, bed, reflect. So here, Caleb is loving on Murphy. One thing I forgot to say from the other video about the bed is once we place them on the bed, one of the goals we're accomplishing, along with teaching them impulse control with distance pressure, is creating a safe space. So we'll actually feed Murphy on that little food container over there. I have been told that he doesn't like to eat in front of people, so we'll see how it goes. He might need to eat in his reflection space. Shh, So right there, his paw came off the chair. Yep, there you go. Good job, Caleb. Give him some distance pressure. Good. All right, that's perfect. Now you can go back to petting him if you'd like to. But we want this to, so right there, Caleb gave him distance pressure, so he put his paw back on. We want this to be a sanctuary. We want this to be a place where even once Murphy is free to roam the home, he's on Caleb. You can just keep petting him. There you go. He's getting comfy now. Once Murphy is off and he's running around the home and he's having a fun time, we want him to have a spot where he knows he can go to be safe. So the reflection space is that for him. Maybe there's fireworks that start coming, or maybe you're having a giant Christmas party and people are and he gets nervous. We want him to have a spot where he can go and lay on and know that it's his safe space. So that will be this bed. So in order to help this space be that, we feed him on there, we love him on there, we can sit with him on the bed and cuddle him on there, and we can brush him on there. Anything that he loves, not entertainment, like no toys or chew bones or things like that, but treats and food and loves and anything that he loves, we're going to give him to him on this bed. So this becomes his favorite spot to be, and he'll always want to be here even when he's allowed to be off the bed, which again will not be for a little while, because remember, he's going to be on the bed or in reflection space, because we have to build that sense of love and happiness on this bed.